I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One. Thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak reference 15450 ST 37 millimeters in brushed and polished stainless steel. You can purchase this Royal Oak on our website watchyouwant.com, and if you like these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel Watch You Want Inc. Now this watch debuted in 2012 as the sort of successor to the 14790 mid-size family. What it did was it effectively split the difference. Audemars Piguet turned the old 15300 Royal Oak into the 15400 41mm and the 15450 37mm that I'm wearing here. And you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This wears with all of the style, the traditional lines and presence of an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Every single essential styling cue, from the artisanally finished integrated bracelet, tapered lugs, the octagonal, variously polished and brushed bezel with the inset white gold bezel bolts, and the tapisserie dial, reads like a Royal Oak. Not a small or a mid-size. This is a men's watch, but in a more discreet size than what some feel to be the slightly extrovert, slightly cruiserweight, shall we say, 41mm. And the watch is silken on the wrist. I have recently showcased the 15400 on this channel with a black dial, so refer to that video for a cross comparison, but I want to focus on how this 37 feels. It's definitely pared down. It sits closer to the wrist. It's got less heft to it, but it has just as much quality inherent in the same double deployant twin trigger clasp, the links of the bracelet, as ever, tapered all the way down by hand for a flow rather than a transition as most luxury watches have through the first 2 or 3 links down to a straight parallel set of links. Every single one of these tapers down. Every single one features alternately beveled sides with high polish and brushed tops with the attention to detail both on the top and underneath where broad channels prevent pinching of skin and pulling of hair. This is a fantastic piece, and you can see why refinishing a Royal Oak bracelet is considered to be a nightmare for watch refinishers, because this is literally state-of-the-art when it comes to artisanal work. And that continues in the case. Now, in 1972, Gerald Genta originally designed this watch as a 39mm, so this one is arguably closer to that original vision in proportions than the current 15400 ST. The 15450 that I have here reads almost indistinguishable from a traditional 39mm jumbo, and just to prove the point, I want to show you a 39mm jumbo. Now this watch has been a regular on the channel recently, the 15202 ST. Both of these watches were redesigned for the 2012 anniversary of the Royal Oak. That was the 40th anniversary. We got this 37 and a somewhat revamped, true to form 39mm jumbo, closer to the original design than any since. And you can see, really, less than a centimeter apart, it's almost impossible to distinguish one from the other. If you want the convenience of a modern in-house Audemars Piguet, free-sprung balance, 60-hour automatic movement with center seconds, the 15450 will give you the proportions of this jumbo, but with a case, a bracelet, and yes, a movement that are just about as tough as the 15400, the everyday Royal Oak, while preserving the appearance of the 15202 ST. Realistically, if you want the everyday jumbo with those classic proportions, but more wearability and durability, you want the 15450. And the jumbo, although an August reference, is just a little bit more dress-oriented, less sports-oriented than the watch I hold here in my left hand. Now this one does bring a different look to the table with the silvered tapisserie, now made in-house on Audemars Piguet's own pantograph equipment, and you can see how the watch really does a better job of simulating the look of the full-size 39mm jumbo than the old 14790 reference midsize did. The watch has all of the in-house savoir-faire that you expect from an Audemars Piguet, and mechanically it is identical to the 15400 ST, so that means you're getting Audemars Piguet's in-house 3120 reference caliber, so a 22 karat gold winding mass emblazoned with the coats of arms of the Audemars and Piguet family respectively. Since 1875, they've controlled the company continuously, making this the oldest major watchmaker still in the hands of the original founding family, with members of the founding family active in the management of it. Basically immortalized in 22 karat gold, itself borne by unlubricated ceramic winding rotor bearings. What these do is they increase the efficiency of the winding system. They're completely unlubricated, so they don't need to be continuously cleaned and relubricated. Low maintenance, they're essentially sealed for the life of the watch, eliminating one of the traditional weak points of automatic movements. And since you get that extra efficiency bonus from the ceramic, AP designs this one as a bi-directional winder. So like Rolex, there's loading on the winding rotor in both directions, so it doesn't have an unweighted freewheeling direction to create that wobble that unsettles some people when they experience a unidirectional winder. So still very efficient, but much smoother than a unidirectional winder. What you also get is a full balance bridge. Now, I sort of sang the praises of this one in the review of the 15400, but I want to recap that with a dual anchored balance bridge, not a single-sided cantilevered balance cock, a Gyromax style balance with variable inertia balance blocks, what you're getting is a watch that's more shock resistant. To bring back the Jumbo, I don't mean to beat up on the Jumbo because it's a wonderful piece, it's just a little bit more delicate, it's a little bit more dress oriented, but you can see with the Jumbo, the architecture of the movement is more traditional. See how the balance cock cantilevers out, it's anchored on one side by that single screw. It's more subject to displacement by shocks. That is, although it is free sprung in this case with a Gyromax wheel, the fact that the cock proceeds outward and then just sort of cantilevers means that every shock creates a little bit of a whiplash at the end, inherently making this watch less resistant to timing disruptions due to shock than the more robust full balance bridge architecture you see here. One of the other benefits of the Audemars Piguet in-house movement is that it has a 60-hour power reserve, so tons of autonomy. Realistically, if you wanted to wind this watch fully on a Friday afternoon, put on an offshore for the weekend, and then put this back on for the office on Monday, you'd still be good to go without having to reset the watch or reset the date on Monday morning. This is a fantastic piece that upholds the great heritage of the Royal Oak, while remaining truer perhaps to the original proportions and the original scale of Gerald Genta's vision for the watch than the contemporary 15400 ST. And that's the wonder of this piece. It's about Audemars Piguet's commitment to absolute full spectrum variety and options, design flexibility for every taste within the Royal Oak line. So if, like me, your wrist is under 7 inches in circumference and you prefer a little bit more discretion, less of a broad piece of real estate on your wrist, then the 15450 ST is definitely the watch you want. You can see it, and if you so choose, you can take home this contemporary automatic winding in-house movement Audemars Piguet 15450 ST on our website, watchyouwant.com.